Hiya, thanks for joining us again. This is week 12. I had to look at my notes there. Week 12 of the Thurso show. I'm Marion. I'm a Thurso Community Development Trust board member, and I'm joined tonight by Joan, who is Thurso Development Manager. We've no guest tonight, it's just we're two selves, but we've got a really exciting few guests next week, actually. So, look out for that one.
We're very excited about the guests next week. Let's try and build some tension about it. People will think we're getting a celebrity on.
Our celebrities.
Yes, they are. Our superstars.
Yeah. But for tonight, you've got us. So, Joan, can you just give us the usual roundup of the community support and the kind of goings on of the trust in the last week?
So the big change this week is that we have reduced down the time that this telephone line's open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. But we still do get urgent inquiries if they're left before 10 or after 2. We're seeing quite a lot of people are really going out and doing their own shopping now and sort of reducing that down. Still quite a lot of prescription pickups, and the meals are definitely still on the go, and folk are enjoying the meals, and we've introduced a few lighter options. I think there's quiche next week, they had salad this week, so a few different options, and I am led to believe that they're getting another baking box from superstar cook Linda on Friday.
Lovely, so that's exciting. So you can still get in touch with us by telephone. The phone number is 01847 867050.
Yeah, we're on the ball tonight. Yeah.
And I keep forgetting to remind people, but you can actually send a request in online as well. So if you go to our website, www.thursocdt.co.uk, and on our coronavirus page, you'll see a little button that says, I think it's I need help. And you fill out the form that comes directly to our team of admin volunteers, and they'll get back to you. So if you'd rather not make a phone call, you can do it online. It's absolutely not a bother. The other thing that's on our list here is the wellbeing packs. So Joan, can you give us an update on what's going on with all things wellbeing?
So I was down in the youth club yesterday, and there were 20 painted stone packs sitting waiting to go out to people. So I think they're all going out tomorrow. Lots of people requesting wellbeing packs. I think we've given out over 100 wellbeing packs now. There's probably slightly more, because the ladies are there on a Tuesday and a Thursday afternoon as well. So you can come and collect anything that you want to have. And there's a huge range of books, a huge range of jigsaws, because some people have been taking books and have been swapping them back as well. We've particularly got adult journaling kits. We've got quite a lot of those still available. But it's the painted stones really that seem to be flying out the door. But again, with the wellbeing packs, you can select them all from our website. Do you remember what the link is completely? I don't. If you just go to thursocdt.co.uk and follow the link for wellbeing, then they're all there.
Yeah, so you can do the request online, or you can pop down on a Tuesday or a Thursday afternoon and have a socially distanced natter with our wellbeing volunteers, who would be thrilled to see you, to help you and give you what you need. So next on our list, over the last sort of 12 weeks since we've been doing the coronavirus response, we've seen lots more people become aware that the trust even exists, and lots more people volunteering with us and kind of just getting to know who we are, what we do, and what we're all about. So we have decided that we're going to attempt some quick fire questions that is going to hopefully answer some of the things that people have been asking us over the last few weeks. If you have any further questions, or if you want to know a little bit more, please pop them in the comments below, and we'll do our best to get back to everybody. So we've actually got quite a long list of questions, so I'll see how long this takes. And Joan, I hope you've been swatting up.
Well, I feel like this is a bit of a on-the-job test, but let's see how we get on. I'm a bit worried that there's going to be an ear hoot or a big buzzer if I don't get through them fast enough.
Definitely. We'll have to see if you pass or fail the Community Development Trust test.
Okay.
I'm going to go with question number 1. They're behind my phone, so if I get close, then you know why. So what is Thurso Community Development Trust?
So Thurzo Community Development Trust is an organisation that was formed 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago, to improve Thurso. So our core aim is to make Thurso a better place to live, work and visit through community-led sustainable development. That's the official title of it all. What it really means is we come out, we ask you what it is that you want to happen. We did that in 2018 with this massive survey that got 1,080 responses to it. Oh no, 1,200 responses to it. And from there, we formed a 5-year strategic plan where we've got all sorts of different projects. Tourism, Thurso Grows, everything sort of ties together. The main thing that we'd like to have is a community hub for Thurso.
Awesome. So that's Thurso Development Trust. And can you explain a bit about what a development trust is in general?
Okay, so development trust, you notice how fast I'm going right now. Development trusts, there are over 200, I think there's about over 300 of us now across Scotland. A slightly different type of community organisation, so very, very community-led. So it's local people that form them, that lead them, that form the boards. The projects that development trusts do are based on what their community's needs and aspirations are. You will find development trusts in very urban areas, in the centre of Glasgow and Edinburgh, and a lot in rural areas as well. A lot of the work that we do comes about from the Community Empowerment Act. That's starting to use big words now. But like the right to buy, communities have now got the right to buy land and buildings and things like that. So if you think about some of the islands like Egg, Ulva that have hit the news where there's been these big island buyouts, generally there has been a development trust that's been behind that. But the idea about a development trust is that, so you get community organisations who maybe just raise money for sort of flower beds and they work on a voluntary kind of basis. But development trusts, really it's that we take an enterprising approach, that we're trying to be quite business-like to what we try and do, and that we're trying to have a decreased reliance on grant funding. We do still get a lot of money from grant funding, but we're also trying to find ways that we can actually make money as well and keep that money within our communities. But the key thing is what they do is because of identified community needs, aspirations, and that we're trying to keep wealth and trying to improve our own local areas.
Okay, awesome. Is the Thurso Community Development Trust related to, or are you the council?
No. What I will say is we work very closely with the council. We have really since the very start of it, and if those of you don't know, when we used to have a kind of group sort of thing that was called Pay It Forward Thurso, where we started kind of clearing paths and things like that. And we really do believe that if we work, like if we give a bit, then the council gives a bit. And we've got a really, really good relationship with Highland Council. Alec McManus, who's our ward manager, is one of my faves. He'll be delighted. But yeah, if we work kind of hand in hand, so you know, if people come into us and they say that something's wrong, then we've got a really good relationship with Alec and we can go and pass that back on to the council. And similarly with the councillors, we've got a really good relationship. So it's all about us working together. But no, we're not actually the council in any shape or form. We don't provide any form of statutory services. And other than pots of money funding that we will apply for from the council, we don't get any sort of direct assistance from the council like that.
No. Okay, thank you. What's next? What's the difference between the trust and other organisations? We've kind of done this one.
Yeah, I kind of did that. It's really that we take this enterprising approach, that we've tried to be quite business-like. I mean, we try to be quite slick with things like our marketing, and we have a logo and things like that. But really, that sort of stuff is so that there's a bit of pride in Thurso. One of the reasons that we started the trust was it was felt like there was quite a lot of community apathy in Thurso. It was the same people on the same committees, and that we just didn't have this sort of sense of community. And that's one of the things that we've really tried to take back, and do that kind of range of activities. So a lot of you might have come to the New Year's soaking, where there was loads of people at it. Coffee mornings that we do, but then also similarly, we're trying to work on tourism development, and the tourism development is not necessarily for us to make money out of. It's to make Thurso more attractive to visitors and boost our local economy so that we get more visitors, and we create a kind of so it's not about one person getting that individual slice of the pie. It's about making the pie bigger for all of our local businesses and supporting them. So that's kind of one of the main differences, is this sort of taking an enterprising approach and trying to do economic development. The other thing is maybe being a community anchor organisation, which we really have been recently. We've given grants out through the community support to different organisations in Thurso. I quite frequently help other organisations in Thurso and in Caithness with funding applications and things to do with their governance, or helping them develop projects and things. So that's kind of the main sort of differences. I think maybe one of the other ones is the fact that we've got staff as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you got that pie analogy in there. It's your favourite.
Do you like the pie analogy? Do you like a pie? We quite frequently talk about pies and sausage rolls in our office, so there we go. And at board meetings and whenever we possibly can.
It's an important topic.
Yeah, because Thurso could well be the bakery capital of Scotland as far as we're concerned with the quality of pies.
Absolutely. Okay, next is, why is our trust only for Thurso? Why not Caithness or anywhere else?
Because it would make it really difficult to get anything done, really. When we started, we did think about having a development trust for Thurso and district, but because we ask our members to vote on where there's really big decisions, you would end up that, like maybe Castletown would miss out and everything would come to Thurso. But it's really that you need that set geographical area. A lot of funders prefer us to have that set geographical area. And it just makes it more manageable. That doesn't mean that we don't contribute to what goes on throughout the rest of Caithness. But it just makes things a lot more manageable for us to be able to get projects through and done. In terms of development trust, we've got quite a large population that we cover already, for Thurso. And it was really difficult also to set where the boundaries sort of lie, because it was to try and use an existing boundary rather than try and create new boundaries. So officially our catchment area is actually Thurso in the primary school catchment area. So we do go out as far as kind of Force and Westerdale and places like that. My geography is not very good, but we do go out that kind of far.
Okay, and there are other trusts in the county, so pop comments down below and we can put you in touch with a trust in your area if one exists. There's lots of us around, and partnership is a big thing for us, so it'll be really cool to do that for you guys. Next is, so we're called a trust. Does that mean we're rolling in money?
No.
Unfortunately, no.
Easy one. It's a question I've been asked quite a lot, because you do hear, you like the word investment trust or whatever, you hear trust at the end of it, and people assume that there is some money there, because quite often where there's maybe been where somebody really rich has died, they've put the money into a trust. We don't have anything like that yet. If you want to give us some money, so we'll use it for the benefit of Thurso. Yeah.
We would like to be really rich, but unfortunately at the moment we are not.
No. When we started the trust in February of 2018, we opened a bank account with £1 in it. That's what the money that we had. Yeah.
The good news is now, though, we have more than £1. So
we have more than £1 now. Yeah.
Okay. So, speaking of money, where do we get the money from for Thurso Community Development Trust?
Variety of different sources, mainly grant funding. You will frequently see on our social media pages and sometimes press releases in the paper that will announce when we've got funding. We spend a So a significant part of my job is sitting writing funding applications, some of which we've got, some of which we didn't get. They all get the same amount of effort that gets put into them. Generally through funding, also through fundraising. So if you came to Thurso's Got Talent, if you went to the New Year's Soak-In, if you've come to a coffee morning, if you've made a donation in the past few weeks, all of that comes in for the benefit of the community. And then we have some bits of earned income because again, we're trying to take an enterprising approach. So we sell the community magazine normally. That's one of the things that we make income from. We had started pre-COVID, we've got a small quantity of zero waste products, sort of eco-friendly cleaning materials and things like that. And we'd like to try and grow that, potentially into something quite significantly more. We sell bits and pieces. We sell me sometimes because I do bits of project work for other organisations. Yeah. We'll try anyway to make some money for Thurso, put it that way.
Okay. So why do Thurso Community Development Trust have staff when other organisations rely solely on volunteers?
Other organisations do rely solely on volunteers, and that is fantastic, and the volunteer effort that goes in from them. However, for us, it goes back to that bit of we're trying to run like a business. Now, there aren't very many businesses that would run just solely based on volunteers. There is, since we started the trust with that £1 in our bank account, we've gone on to take a significant amount of money in via grants, via that earned income, via fundraising. Even that alone, just managing that is a job in itself, let alone things like writing funding applications. I have this sort of general rule when I sit down to write a funding application that it's for every £1,000 that I'm applying for, that's about an hour's work. That's a very, very rough estimate because some take significantly longer, some take a bit less. But if I look at all of the money that's come in via funding applications in the past, since we started going, that alone is 250 hours of work. That's a significant amount of time. You know, that's nearly about 2 months worth of just time on its own. You couldn't get a volunteer. You know, that it would be unfair to expect people to put that amount of effort in as a volunteer. But we do have amazing volunteers. We've got the volunteers that have been helping with the community support, but also there's a fantastic board who put in a significant amount of hours and effort to what we do. But really the reason behind staff is it keeps us accountable. It keeps, you know, like Marion here could just go, nah, I don't feel like doing social media any longer. And that's fine, she's a volunteer. Me, I'm paid for it. I can't go, nah, I don't feel like writing that funding application. It's what keeps us on track. It's what keeps us going. And it's what really keeps the projects going as well. And in terms of staff, there's me, I'm the only full-time member of staff. And then we have 4 members of staff on the Thurzo Grows. And we have a couple of people that are employed on a temporary basis at the moment, manning the community support. But yeah, I mean, we're not a huge staff. So yeah, that's why we have staff, is we're a business at the end of the day. Yeah.
Okie doke. And how does the trust decide what projects to work on?
The people of Thurso tell us what projects they want. That's how it works. That's entirely how it works. We, when the trust started, the very first sort of was, I don't even know if you would class it a board meeting. It was a group of people who came together who were interested in being on the board. And all of them had ideas. All of them are Thurso worthies, like Marion. All of them had ideas for what they wanted to do in Thurso, but it wasn't up to them to decide. It was, we are community led. That means the community is in control of what we do. So we went out and asked the community. So, and on the back of that, we formed a 5-year strategic plan. We did a big consultation. We formed a 5-year strategic plan, which has as much of the sort of projects that there was enough of a consensus for, that we could demonstrate there was enough of a need for. And those were community hub, tourism, projects to combat social isolation. Growing was a big one in the consultation that we did, but people wanted us to do stuff with the Mart site. We did know that was impossible because it had about like £1 million price tag on it. But then we found we're garden elsewhere, and we've got Thurzo Grows from that. So yeah, and there's always different things. We're always doing little chunks of consultation as well. Like we did one recently on active travel. We did quite a lot for the tourism project. I think that we're going to do some soon about climate action and growing and things like that. So yeah, there's lots of, but it's because there's an identified need in Thurso. That's what we do.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to recap that. So the community let us know what they'd like, and then we take the things that people say the most and form that into our strategic plan. We also, as Jones mentioned, are a membership organisation, and members help us to tell the funders. We've spoken a lot about funding. So if we can go to funders and say, me and my group of 10 mates think we should do this, can we have some money? They're going to say, well, that's going to benefit 11 people. No. But if we go and say, Thurso Community Development Trust, and its membership of 500 plus, 1,000 plus, would like this for Thurso, they're much more likely to take us seriously and really support what we're doing. So membership's a huge part of what we do as well. It's completely free, and you can sign up on our website, which again is thursocdt.co.uk. So Joan, you just mentioned the 5-year plan there, and my next question was, what are the projects? So can you just give a roundup of what they are?
Is this like a proper test that I'm going to get proper tested on? Can I just first of all say is that COVID has put a big hole in our 5-year strategic plan. But we have recently done a survey. Oh, see, I've always got a survey sitting on my desk somewhere, which is the Caithness Recovery Survey. So we'll be taking some notes out of that. Not hugely, because the main project has been for a really long time, it's been a community hub. And we would like to explore the feasibility of the drill hall as potential for a community hub. We have the first chunk of funding towards it. Actually, we've got the first 2 chunks of funding towards it. And we still need another bit of funding to get all the sort of reports done and business planning, see if it would actually work or not. I think that, and even more so now, where we're seeing people being so socially isolated, social isolation was a big issue anyway, and a community hub would certainly, in terms of the community response that we've had to do, although Thurso Youth Club have been brilliant and superb, a lot of what we've tried to deliver would have been hugely easier had we have had a community hub and been engaged with a lot of the people who are experiencing social isolation already through groups and activities and things like that. So yeah, a community hub is the main one. Tourism, we have the Discover Thurso project. We have town centre regeneration work that's been on the go. We, at the end of last year, were awarded £40,000 through the Scottish Government Town Centre Regeneration Fund. That's for wayfinding signs and planters, to sort of improve, and an electronic notice board to improve Thurso Town Centre. That's gone on hold a little bit because of COVID, because of the infrastructure that needs to go in. But that'll restart at some stage, hopefully this year. We have Thurso Grows, which, if people didn't realise, I think sometimes people don't quite realise that Thurso Grows is part of Thurso Community Development Trust, but it is. It's just that's the name of that project. Our staff are Thurso Community Development Trust staff. The project belongs to the trust. It would be a really, really long name if we were going to call it the Thurso Community Development Trust Garden. That would be really long. So we came up with Thurso Grows instead. We actually have quite a host of our logo in lots and lots of different colours that are just sitting waiting for new projects and things. What else do we do? Christmas lights. There's a little working group that works on Christmas lights. Community magazine. We have some zero waste products and things as well. It's something we'd like to build up. There is the harbour toilets. That's like what was that game where you had to go along a conveyor belt? So the generation game. I don't know. You're far too young for that anyway. Is there something I've missed out?
I don't think so. But you can read it all on the website in the strategic plan. It's there on the home page. And any questions, pop them in the comments below or drop us a message and we can get a printed copy to you. We can send it to you by email. We're more than happy to discuss our plan. It took us long enough to come up with, and we're using it for the next 5 years. So we need you guys to be aware of it, to ask questions about it and be comfortable with it. So please do get in touch. Next question, Joan. Do you own a high vis and are you going to fix the potholes?
No. I'm going to leave that from a pal, Alec McManus, at the council.
Yeah, that's a council job, not something that we know anything about. Leave that to the professionals.
Yeah, pretty much so. I mean, the one thing I would say about the potholes is there is a website that the Highland Council have that you can report them on. If there are any serious issues, we can of course report that to Highland Council, but it's not something that we are able to do. Go back to one of the points we're a business. The things that we do are to try and raise economic regeneration and bring wealth into the area. And I know that the potholes are annoying, but yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about them. What we can do, though, which is one of the projects that I forgot about because it's still under development, is we'd like to do quite a lot of stuff to do with active travel and walking and cycling. And we can do projects that would improve walking and cycling, which by default might mean that some potholes get repaired, but we can't directly repair potholes. That's the council.
Okay, and leading on from the potholes question, can the trust do up and maintain the play parks in town?
It's not part of our current plans. There are development trusts and community associations that do the play parks, but it's not something that at the moment, going by our 5-year strategic plan, and it's hard when you come to talk about play parks because I know how important the play parks are. Even though my kids aren't little any longer, I know how important they are. But there's only, when I explain about staff, there's only really me who's a full-time staff member who works on the general stuff to do with the trust. And there's lots of needs that the community has, which are a greater priority. The people who are experiencing social isolation, who are experiencing mental health issues, wellness, who are experiencing food poverty, those sort of things, they have a greater priority. However, in terms of the play parks, we are what's called a community anchor organisation, so we would always support other groups if they want to do things. So if there were a group of, say, mums, because it's quite often it's the mums, it's us that go and get stuff done, no offence, dads, or people who aren't mums or dads, who wanted to do something about one of the play parks, I would sit down with you, I would support you in writing those funding applications and doing whatever it is that needs to be done. But do we have the capacity to directly refurbish one of the play parks? No. But if there was a group of you who wanted to do it, we would absolutely and completely support you and help you 100% behind the way to get that play park done.
Okie doke. And last, but by no means least, and if you're still watching, congratulations. You deserve last question is, how do people get involved? How do people join our merry gang?
Well, if they're still watching this, I don't know. They go to the website and they can sign up to be a member. If they would like to join the board, then they would need to get in touch with Helen at thursocdt.co.uk. She's going to be delighted with me. But we always kind of welcome new board members. We will be having an AGM. I think we've got to have one by August. So soon. We will, yeah, soon. And people can come forward as board members then. Becoming a member means that you get a member's mail out. You don't get any great trophy or prize, but you do get a member's mail out. We are, to all of our members, we are quite behind with members' mail outs at the moment, but we will get to you. We've been a wee bit busy, and I think that you probably all understand that anyway. Or you just come along and volunteer. We've got various sort of working groups which are quite fun. We do try to keep things quite light-hearted and informal, because I think we get more done that way. So like things like community magazine, if you want to get involved in the community magazine, you can come along and join our little merry band, or if you're particularly interested in tourism, Christmas lights, any of those sort of things. We've got these sort of little working groups. So there's lots of different ways that you can get involved.
Okay, so that is the end of the quick fire questions.
I don't know how quick that was.
Well, we answered the questions, shall we say. So that's us for another week. Thanks for watching. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay safe, stay sensible, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and do all that good stuff that you've been doing for the last 13 weeks. Please do tune in next week, because we're not kidding when we say our guests are very excited and we can't wait to talk to them. See you later.
Bye.